What's going on, everyone? RJ here with CV Tech, and today's video is about the iPhone 5S and should you buy this phone in 2018. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush with this phone here. This phone came out, I think, in 2013, something like that. So it's a pretty old phone and everything else, and some old processors and stuff like that. Now, this one here is the Boost Mobile variant, and I'm going to go ahead and say right now that if you have Boost Mobile, stay away from this phone. If you want LTE. I think this phone right here supports band 25 and band 26, but no band 41. When I first bought this phone here, band 25 and 26 was pretty popular, pretty strong in my area. However, not long afterwards, band 41 became popular and made this phone pretty much useless. Running the speed test on band 41 was less than 1 megabit. So, if you got Boost Mobile or Virgin Mobile or Sprint, do not go with a 5S. If you want LTE, and especially if you're in a band 41 area. Now, in general, what about the iPhone 5S? Now, the iPhone 5S, I love the design. The iPhone 5S SE, the design is great. I love the size, the form factor, the way it's made. I mean, they're built super tough. I mean, you can bend the far out of them, and they just don't seem to break. I mean, they're really nice. They're really solid. Like I said, I love the design of the phones. And to me, they're very durable. Now, this phone here runs the, I think it's the A7 chip, I believe, in the 5S with 1 gigabyte of RAM. This is a 16 gigabyte version, of course, depending on what you get. They vary. However, this phone here is really slowed down after the iOS 11 update. Now, on iOS 10, 9, 10, it seemed to do pretty good. But of course, with iOS 11, as a lot of y'all know, it really slowed the iPhone 5S down. And, I can give it a full charge. I can turn it on, try to use it. It's glitchy, it's slow, takes forever to do anything. But it does still work. So, I mean, if you're on, a GSM carrier where supports more bands, and if you can get this iPhone 5S for a really good price, I would say like $50, then yeah, I would say go for it all day long because it still works. The camera is still pretty decent on it. The front camera is 1.2 megapixel, and some will say the cameras on the front are no good. And yes, in low light, it does look more grainy and everything else. However, if you're outside, in bright lighting, or if you're doing a self video, taking selfies, it does do a pretty good job, in really good lighting. However, low lighting, of course, does get grainy and just gets nasty. Now, of course, on the bottom is the headset jack, which is important to a lot of people. Some people really don't care about that. Myself personally, I don't care about a headphone jack. I don't use wired headsets, very often. Mostly whenever I go live sometimes. It's really nice to have a headset jack to plug in my headset, but it's not like it's a deal breaker for me if a phone does not have a headphone jack. Battery life. After iOS 11 went to the dogs, it just wasn't that great. Pretty much just kind of ruined the phone, as most of y'all know, with the 5S. And a lot of iPhones pretty much, they say that it is, conserving the battery, all like that. I don't know. Don't really matter to me. It's up to them, whatever they want to do. But in my opinion, battery life was decent. I get to a whole day, on the battery of light to moderate usage. Of course, heavy usage, you better carry a charger, car charger, power bank, something like that, because battery life did drain a lot, especially when using the cameras, especially when, doing social media. It did eat up the battery quite a bit. Now, a lot of people complain about the screen, how it's not this, it's not that. Honestly, I don't have any problem with the screen. I'm one of those people who really is not super picky about every little thing on the phone. I mean, the screen to me looks good. I would turn it on right now, but I think it's dead and everything. So, yeah. But anyway, the screen looks good. I like the screen. I mean, it looks fine to me. Yes, it's not super AMOLED. Yes, it's not this, that, or the other. But, why be too picky? Honestly. The screen looks good, and you can see it. It's bright enough. How about the size? Now, some people actually like this size iPhone. I personally do. I have kind of small hands, and it's really nice to be able to do your one-handed operation with this phone here and be able to just, not have to use both hands. If you want to put it in your front pocket, you can. It's right there. Right there you go. Hide away, right there in your front pocket. And, no problem whatsoever. Some does not like small phones anymore, and that's understandable. You got phones now that are 6 inch, 6.5 inch. And you got a little 4-inch display phone here. But I mean, I love this form factor, y'all. I mean, I just love the 5S SE form factor. I mean, some don't like it because of the size, too small for some. Honestly, it's nice to be able to one-hand type, one-hand call. You know, I mean, it's easy just to take out of your pocket, take pictures, make a phone call. You know, so the size is a plus and a minus to some. To me, I like the size of the iPhone 5S. Now, of course, if you watch a lot of media like YouTube or movies or whatever it is you do, you know, a 4.7 to a 5.5 inch display on the iPhones or the iPhone Plus series is going to work out better for you. You know, however, but if you want a phone for just usability, portability, you know, be able to take out and just call or text or take pictures and just do it all with one hand without having to have both hands freed up, the size is good at 4 inches on this iPhone. So that's just kind of my thoughts here. So my recommendations, you know, would I recommend buying the iPhone 5S in 2018? Overall, I would say no, for a simple fact that a lot of carriers does not support all the bands that a lot of carriers support now, and a lot of you know, bands that are being supported and are pushed out now. Another thing is it runs very slow on iOS 11. It's just slow, choppy, and really, for what you can buy a 5S for, you can buy an iPhone SE for just pennies more. It's not a whole lot of much more, and you actually get a lot better specs and a lot better usability out of the SE, and you still get this really nice design, you know. So for a bit more money, I go with the SE and everything else. So that's just my thoughts on the iPhone 5S in 2018. I think it still would be a good buy for like $50, something like that. Any more than that, I think it's just not really worth the money. So this was helpful and informative. Hit that like button. Any questions or comments you may have, leave it below. I'll get back with you as soon as possible. You ain't subscribed yet, please do so. I'd appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all in the next video.